carryover defense from the omoplata, so that we can now look at how to counter the carryover. All right, we just took a look at the carryover counter to the omoplata. Let's have a look at defending that. So remember, we need to defend the counters of the omoplata, and if we do so well, we're going to be in a very good or winning position. So I have the omoplata on Kyle. So I've made this omoplata, and I've got to the seated position. He posts his far leg behind my back. Yep, and goes for his carryover. Okay, when he hits the carryover, his hips come in and engage. We're just going to roll out. We're going to re-roll. You notice position, if I do this in slow motion, you notice the position of, as he carries me over, where are we? We're sitting on him. So if I do a very sharp shoulder roll and roll through, look at where my right arm goes. Goes back into the armpit, and we are again at the gold standard. Okay? So our number one carryover defense is to re-roll as we looked at earlier from the side mount arm trap. And we're going to re-roll a very tight shoulder roll, go collect the far arm, and then get into our head and arm defense. So again, let's pull this. Yeah, perfect. Yep, he hits the carryover. I re-roll as he's rolling me over the top. Re-roll inside, go collect the far arm. And now we have our gold standard. Just one more time. We're seated up. He hits the carryover and re-roll through. I collect the far arm. Just make sure that you hold this, you get to this arm. Not hard to get to, you're almost there when you're seated up. But as you re-roll, get to this underhook of this far arm, which keeps him from turning, and then voila, we've got our great number one attack of the carryover. Number two counter to the carryover is to be much more conservative in nature. Okay? Rolling through doesn't take any real athletic skill at all. It takes good timing. The more experience I have in these scenarios, the better timing I'll have. But if we want a more conservative approach, here's what we'll do. Back to the seated up position. When he hits the carryover, I'll be very conservative in nature. He goes flying over. We know where we're going. So this elbow, as my knee hits, the elbow carves through, and we're in the arm trap. Okay, we're in the side mount arm trap. My arm goes through because I know that those legs are coming up over my back quickly. There it is. Okay? And if I wait too long, he's going to have good leg position to be able to use that leg to pry his arm out, open this leg up, and as I turn, I'm going to end up in the guard. Okay? So it's important to note that when we're doing this secondary counter to the carryover, that we accept that we're going to move to the top position, and that this elbow is ready to dominate the hip line and make sure that we keep his legs pinned. So once again, I'm up, he hits his carryover, I know I'm going to the top, so we post with the left hand, frees up the right arm, and now we've slid the left forearm through the waist, and we're in our arm trap system, and we're ready to go here. Okay, so one more time, let's take a look at what the left arm does to stop me, to free my right arm. As we're seated up, this arm plays a big role. It stops me. Now I'm floating on him. Okay, that lets this arm go before the knees hit the mat, and now we're good. We're in this arm trap, and we can choose to move backwards if we choose, or whatever we wish. So, two very good counters to the carryover defense. A third one that we could have, that we have to be a little mindful of, because we looked at the counter to this, is to present our leg in a position where we may be able to go dig out the far arm. But again, we got to be very, very, very cautious of using these scenarios for fear that someone can T-Rex their arm and put me into a position of ashigarami attacks. So if you are in a carryover, and he rolls you, if I want to play around with sitting on him, as he rolls me, I'm going to change the angle of my legs and prop my leg out to the side. This will allow me to maintain my body weight on Kyle. Instead of going to arm trap, I've put a post and I've stopped myself. Now this hand has to hold his elbow. If I don't hold his elbow's going to go to the mat. I've opened up my legs, so I've opened up the tightness of the omoplata, so I need to hold this. And now, once we've stopped ourselves, I can back heel and I can begin to sit on him. And if he presents his right arm to the inside of this leg early, okay, yep, there it is. He's done it early. The reason why he might do it early is because I'm sitting on poor Kyle's chest, squeezing the life out of him. So I'm sorry, buddy. But that sometimes be due to the weight of my hips, he may try to put